A Saints Row prequel is going back to its roots. Their words, not mine, not a meme.
Rhino's working he works for Saints Row now? Holy shit.
Now, this might actually happen as its original director works on a pitch to get the band back together. Okay, so before we get into this, I'm just going to come out and say right now, this series is fucking dead. That last game was the nail in the coffin. I know like a month ago or 2 months ago, whatever it was, we got that report of what the game was originally going to look like. And it looked really fucking good. It was like one of the most best recent examples of higher ups just coming in and just fucking everything. If you haven't seen it, go check it out because there is some incredible ideas that were butchered and turned into becoming some of the gayest shit you've ever seen in your life. So original Saints Row director Chris Stockman tells us he wants to take the GTA rival back to the start as he works on a prequel pitch. Honestly, a prequel is probably the only thing you could do with this, to be honest with you, because everything else is fundamentally fucked. The original director of Saints Row has sparked faint hopes for a return as he teases that he's been asked to put together a pitch for a potential prequel. So he served as the original director for the first Saints Row game before moving on to found an independent studio. Now, he's told PC Games N that he's attempting to get the band back together, although things are still very much up in the air. As one of the first big rivals to GTA, there'd be nothing more fitting for them to return alongside GTA 6. No, absolutely not. Do not do that. If you are going to have the slightest chance of bringing back Saints Row, do not compete against GTA 6. You will not fucking win. This is going to be like fighting peak Mike Tyson when you're a premature born leper baby. You can't do it. You can't fucking do it. Now, if Saints Row stayed the course, maybe in an alternate timeline, it would still lose, but in an alternate timeline, it might stand a better chance. But right now, no fucking chance. I've been asked to create a pitch for a Saints Row prequel he shared to the game's Reddit page earlier this week. I can't say anything more, but my dreams for this game just to be a little bit more than dreams. We got in touch with Stockman to confirm the account was his and asked a little more clarification on his plans for the open world game. He restates that he's aiming to do a prequel, although adds, won't say much beyond that yet, as I want to keep my cards close to the chest for now. So he has also approached the Saints Row IP holder Embracer Group. Well, there you go, Cream. After the interview I did with Esports on the Insider Gaming podcast channel as well, created a bit of a fever. In mid-October story, he questioned the point of rebooting the series, saying it wasn't Saints Row at all without the characters people know and love. Yeah, everyone will agree with that part. Now he tells us, I want to bring the Saints Row franchise back to its roots. As you know, I directed Saints Row 1, and I feel the series has strayed too far away from that. I completely understand why they went the way in the end, but they kind of painted themselves to a corner they couldn't get out of. While I love Saints Row the Third, there's certainly a case to be made that it pushed things down a road of endless escalation. Hard agree. Saints Row 2 was perfect. Saints Row, well, not perfect, but peak for the series. Saints Row 3 is when it started to go off the rails, and then it was just off the tracks from there. It's too early in the process to get your hopes up, of course, but he says there's interest and a pitch has been requested, he adds. I'm attempting to get the band back together. If this works, it'll be an amazing story. I hope it works. Now, I don't know about you, Cream, but I feel like he's just talking shit and he's just saying shit to hopefully generate some interest, and he actually doesn't have anything.
I think he probably has an idea, and that's why he's talking shit and trying to generate an interest, because he probably has been working on this since the last game came out and was such a shit show. He's probably like, fuck, man, I gotta come back and try to fix this. And Embracer is going to be gun shy because of obvious reasons. The game was bad. I think there are a couple things you could do with the Saints Row franchise, and you have to do PR so perfectly. It's the same thing with Battlefield. Actually, a little harder with this than it was with Battlefield, but where there's just so much apathy that has to do with the franchise, you really do have to work hard to gain back the trust of the people who are fans. Him coming in and saying, hey, I want it to be back to like Saints Row 1 and 2, that's going to interest a lot of people. Doing a prequel, that's interesting. You'll probably get the rise of Saints gang, right? Like that's what you're gonna get. I also think if you do a remaster of 1 and 2, that's not a bad idea.
Ooh,
That,
okay.
or I would suggest you do that, remasters or remakes of both those games before you do this original prequel. Right? And I think that also helps drive, because then people are going to be like, man, these games are so fucking good. And then they're like, oh, wait, they're going to be making a game that's more similar to this than the ones I dislike in the series. And it's made by the same people. Hey, that generates a little bit of interest. So I think doing that would be good. It's man, it's going to be a hard hill to climb though to get this back. And again, you still have to deal with Embracer. So unless he's able to basically get creative freedom for this game, which is not like impossible. If I'm Embracer, I would do it, just because like the last time you stuck your heads in on this game, it was a colossal fuck up. It's one of the worst launches of a game ever. And it absolutely killed a franchise that people love and still love. You got to keep your hands off of this. And you can, if you keep your hands off of this, you'll make your money. Basically what they were going to do with Space Marine until they sold off Saber to themselves. So yeah, I think it's probably a smart idea to actually go through and try this. But again,
Well, you talked about
need,
having perfect PR, right?
yeah.
The interesting thing about the reboot was, and not many people remember this because of how fucking bad it ended up being. But when you get a chance, go look up the initial first reveal of that game. It was a full, we're going back to doing what you people wanted. We're going back to doing that. And granted, since we learned about the process of that game's development, it was probably true at the time. And then it just fell off a cliff. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
it's sad.
Very, very much. Oh, man. Could you imagine, though, a good new Saints Row actually going head-to-head with GTA 6?
They won't be. I mean, it's the benefit is GTA 6 is going to be out before they probably even start working on actually developing the game. So they have some room, have some wiggle room. The one that's really interesting is Max Payne 1 and 2 is supposed to be coming out like early next year.
Yeah.
My brain, I don't know, my gut's telling me it's going to be around the same time as GTA, which makes no fucking sense. Why would you? Like, both are going to be probably, I think Rockstar is publishing the remakes as well. Why the fuck would you put them around the same time? I know GTA got delayed and that probably has something to do with it, but
2K in particular doesn't seem to care, because they did NBA this year. I believe they did NBA, Mafia, and Borderlands all relatively close to each other.
Yeah, and GTA was supposed to be like a month or two later. Yeah. And that's one of the problems with 2K that I have, is their scheduling is fucked. Now I understand why they put Borderlands and Mafia around NBA, because NBA has not been doing as well as it should be. The game's already on sale. It was on sale the second month it was out. So they're basically continuing that trend of basically putting out a game, nobody buys it, then it goes on sale for like half or 70% off. People start buying the game. But you can't make money that way. Like you have it at that price point for a reason. But what they did is they put Mafia and Borderlands in that area. Well, now that whole quarter looks good because Borderlands did really fucking well. And Mafia did pretty well too. So that helps.
Let's hope it's not as bad as the reboot. I very much struggle to believe that it could be as bad.